What just happened in the NBA has left fans buzzing everywhere, and Warriors Nation is feeling the shockwaves. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen, has reportedly rejected the chance to reunite with Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. This was not just any opportunity, it was the kind of blockbuster storyline that would have shaken the league to its core. Imagine for a second, Steph and KD side by side again, rekindling the dynasty energy that defined basketball in the late 2010s. But instead of giving Dub Nation hope for another championship run, Durant has closed that door, and now the conversations around the league are exploding with theories, frustrations, and even respect for his decision. So why did Kevin Durant turn down this chance? What does this mean for Curry's twilight years in the league? And how does it change the Warriors' direction moving forward? To really understand the weight of this news, you have to rewind back to when Durant first joined Golden State in 2016. That move broke the internet. It shook the entire foundation of the NBA. The Warriors had already won 73 games the season before. Steph was at the height of his powers, and adding Durant felt like an unfair cheat code. Together, they didn't just win, they dominated. 2 championships, finals MVPs for Durant, and an aura of inevitability that had every opponent demoralized before the ball was even tipped. It was the most unstoppable offensive machine we had ever seen. Fast forward to today, and just the mere possibility of those two teaming up again is enough to ignite excitement in fans and fear in rivals. But now, with Durant refusing the reunion, it leaves so many unanswered questions. Reports suggest that the Warriors front office at least explored the idea of reaching out, understanding that Curry's championship window isn't infinite. Steph is 37, still a phenomenal player, still carrying the offensive load, but the team knows he can't do it alone. The idea of bringing Durant back wasn't just nostalgia, it was strategy. The Warriors need another elite scorer, someone who can shift defenses, someone who can be relied upon in those tough playoff stretches when Steph is double-teamed relentlessly. And Durant was the perfect fit, because we've already seen it work. But the problem here isn't just basketball, it's everything that comes with it. Durant has made it clear in the past that his time in Golden State, while successful on the court, was complicated off of it. The friction with Draymond Green, the constant narrative that he joined an already built dynasty, and the feeling that no matter what he achieved, it would never fully belong to him. Remember, even after he won 2 finals MVPs, the conversation always circled back to Curry being the heart of the team, the fanbase's true hero, the face of the franchise. For Durant, it was never really his kingdom, it was Steph's. And for a superstar with his legacy, that's not a small thing. So when reports broke that Golden State had reached out, it wasn't surprising to see Durant take a step back and say no. For him, the story was already written there, and going back might have meant reopening old wounds. But that doesn't mean the Warriors are left stranded. Because at the same time this news dropped, Coach Steve Kerr himself confirmed something that's been gaining traction inside the locker room: the lineups involving Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, and the newly added Jimmy Butler. Kerr openly talked about experimenting with combinations that feature Kuminga's explosive athleticism alongside Butler's grit and Draymond's defensive IQ. That trio changes a lot for Golden State. While it doesn't bring the sheer scoring firepower that Durant would have provided, it does create a defensive wall, a unit that can switch everything, pressure the ball, and outwork opponents physically. For Kerr, this might be the balance between honoring Curry's last runs while still building something sustainable around younger players like Kuminga. And speaking of Kuminga, his growth has become a central storyline for the Warriors. Just a year ago, his future with the team seemed uncertain, with trade rumors swirling around him constantly. But now, it looks like the organization is doubling down. Kerr confirming Kuminga's role alongside core veterans like Draymond and Butler signals trust, belief, and responsibility. Kuminga is no longer just a project, he's part of the Warriors' immediate plans. And honestly, that could be one reason Durant looked elsewhere. He knows Golden State is trying to transition, to bridge the gap between their dynasty era and whatever comes next. He may not have wanted to step into a team that's balancing development with chasing championships. Jimmy Butler's arrival also can't be overlooked. Known for his fiery competitiveness, Butler brings a different kind of energy to Golden State. He's not Durant, he's not going to drop 40 on any given night with ease, but what he does provide is leadership, toughness, and a playoff mindset that can push everyone around him to a higher level. Kerr clearly envisions lineups where Butler and Kuminga drive the pace, Draymond anchors the defense, and Curry remains the offensive maestro. That mix could be disruptive to opponents, even without Durant's superstar scoring. Still, the conversation inevitably circles back to Curry. For him, this rejection by Durant stings, at least symbolically. Not because Steph himself is pushing for Durant, he's publicly said before that he's content with what they accomplished together, but because Curry is at a stage where every year matters. He doesn't have 5 more shots at a title. He has maybe 2, maybe 3, depending on how well he ages and how the roster supports him. Having Durant by his side again could have made those chances significantly higher. Now, the Warriors will need to rely on depth, on Butler's integration, on Kuminga's leap, and on Kerr's ability to squeeze every ounce of efficiency from a roster that is talented, but not unbeatable. The NBA world, of course, reacted instantly. Some fans praised Durant for staying true to his own path, not running back to the comfort of Golden State. Others criticized him, saying he missed the opportunity to cement his legacy with more titles, to put himself back in the spotlight of June basketball alongside Curry. Rival fans, especially in places like Los Angeles and Boston, probably breathed a sigh of relief. Because let's be real, if Durant had joined Curry again, it would have shifted the balance of power overnight. Instead, the league remains wide open, with teams like Denver, Milwaukee, and Boston still feeling like the frontrunners. For Golden State, the message now is clear. They cannot rely on old reunions or past relationships to save them. They need to forge a new identity, one that honors their past but doesn't live in it. Kerr's confirmation of lineups featuring Kuminga, Draymond, and Butler is the start of that experiment. It may not be as flashy as bringing back Kevin Durant, but it's a statement of belief in the roster they have. And sometimes, belief is just as important as raw talent. Still, questions linger. Can Kuminga really handle the pressure of being a consistent starter on a team with championship aspirations? Can Jimmy Butler stay healthy through a long season and playoff run? Can Draymond maintain his discipline and leadership while also adapting to new teammates? And most importantly, can Stephen Curry carry this team, one more time, into the heart of the postseason and beyond? The rejection by Durant may feel like a missed opportunity, but it also forces Golden State to commit to the path they're on. No shortcuts, no magical reunions, just hard work, development, and the grind of building chemistry with what they have. It's not the fairy tale ending that some fans hoped for, but it might be the more authentic one. Because in the end, championships are never guaranteed, and building them the hard way is what has always defined the Warriors' culture. So, while Kevin Durant's decision will dominate headlines for weeks, the real story may just be beginning inside the Warriors' locker room. Steve Kerr has made it clear Kuminga, Draymond, and Butler are going to be at the heart of this team. The dynasty chapter may be over, but the next one is being written right now. And for Stephen Curry, it's one last chance to prove that no matter who stands beside him, his legacy as one of the greatest players ever is already secure but still hungry for more. And that's the drama unfolding in Golden State. Durant says no. Kerr says Kuminga is ready. Butler joins the mix. And Curry, as always, is left to carry the weight of it all.